Hello and welcome to another dramatic reading by me, Anzani84. Today we're going to be doing the sequel to the Senshi Neo Zero Double Blitzkrieg Debacle, the thankfully less convolutedly titled Return of the Lawndale Militia, a Daria Gunsmith Cat Here is Greenwood crossover fanfic story. Okay, the author was writing a disclaimer saying ignore it happened and giving his own inaccurate descriptions. And I'm not going to read what he wrote. Since I've got up here what actually about. Gunsmith Cat is a manga and anime about the action-packed story of gunsmith bounty hunter Irene Raleigh Vincent and her teenage partner Minnie Mae Hopkins. Precocious explosive enthusiast with a penchant for handmade grenades that emits pink smoke. And it takes place in Chicago and is notably very accurate to the setting. Here is Greenwood. Kazuya Hasukawa is in a dreadful bind. His brother's new wife is also Kazuya's first love. Determined to avoid them both, Kazuya leaves home to live in Ryokurin-ryo, or as it is known by its much easier to pronounce English name, Greenwood, the student dorm of the old boys Ryokyo Academy. There he hopes to find peace of mind. Unfortunately for Kazuya, he starts his term a month late due to the combination of a car accident and a stress-induced ulcer. When he does finally arrive, he finds that peace of any kind is hard to find at Greenwood, home to some of the weirdest characters found on any campus. And Riding Beam, an anime OVA produced by Studio AIC, created by Kenichi Sonoda and directed by Yasuo Hasegawa. Set in Chicago, the anime OVA follows the exploits of Bean Bandit, a professional getaway driver, the transporter, who's been framed for kidnapping the daughter of an electronics CEO. Using a series of tricks, clever plots and disguises, Bean and his friend and trigger woman, Raleigh Vincent, attempt to avoid being captured as they work to clear their name. With many a good plot twist and an interesting story and plot, the OVA was well received and a sequel has been in the works since 2018. I'd like to point out that Raleigh Vincent in both stories are not the same character, despite what the author would try to have you believe. They're not even the same ethnicity. Song credits: Us by Lindsay Buckingham, Drive by Bill Berry, Peter Buck, Mike Mills and Michael Stipe, and Rockefeller Skank by Norman Cook. Prologue. This is literally just them recapping the events of what happened to the Lawndale Militia guy in the Senshi Neo Zero Double Blitzkrieg Debacle. I'm just going to pause the video here after a brief interval, which should allow me to edit the original video of me reading it in. Downtown Lawndale looked like a tornado had struck it. Three Lawndales has had to hang on for another hour until the National Guard arrived, taking their street time. Daria, Usagi and Miura's were at the ready. Up chuck the geekykins go on to Daria. After this is all over, you want to go to my foxhole and make love, not law? Wow! Upchuck said to Daria. Upchuck, if you don't leave me alone this instant, I'll personally demonstrate on you what Lorena Bobbitt did to John Wayne Bobbitt. Still, I replied. Upchuck got the hint and got away from her. This is it, everyone, Mr. Martinez said. This is the battle would either mean the end of the Lawndale Militia or the beginning of the dark age of this town. Got to hold on until the National Guard arrives. Just remember there's a commotion on the edge of town. The Lawndale Militia was arriving. Anthony was at the front of the troops. They had gas masks on. It looked like they were going to launch a terrifying attack. On my signal, fire the sarin bombs, Anthony said. The troops got ready to pull the pins on the grenade and throw them. They had a mere second to stop the attack for the deadly sarin. Again with the spelling. Gas would be released. East, leave this up to me, Usagi said. She spread her wings and began to fly. Militia men had now pulled the pins. The only thing that separated death from Lawndale was the safety hands in a mere 5 seconds. They were ready to throw a grenade. Throw it well, Anthony said. Grenades being thrown to rapid fire place. Suddenly Usagi flew right above them and waved her moon scepter around the general area. Moon Princess Elation! Shouted Sailor Moon. The energy hit the grenade and turned more into harmless dust. Then fell on the attackers. Get them now, we've got the advantage, Mr. DiMartino yelled. One of the three Lawndales advanced from a bewildered militia. The fighting was fierce. Casualties were heavy on both sides, but superior numbers of the three Lawndales was beginning to tell. Zoom on for Mr. Men was yelling, everyone for himself, Medea will take the hindmost. Suddenly Anthony saw his support dissipating. Then come back here and fight or I'll shoot every last one of you, Anthony said. It was no use, he was all alone now. Give yourself up, Dyer said. National Guard will be here soon. We're going to restore law and order here.
Never! I'll never submit to jackbooted thugs like them!
Anthony roared and fled St. Eligius' Presbyterian Church. To a tall bell tower. We're going to do a Beauty and the Beast here. Darius, Sagi, Amy, Jane, Trent and Jesse were in hot pursuit. Anthony got there first and ran up the stairs, first jimmying the door so that it wouldn't open. Dari got there soon after. The door's been jimmy closed, I can't open it, he said. Way to restate the obvious. Stand back, Sagi said. Jane shouted, Sailor Moon, kick! The door was kicked into splinters. Jimmy others ran up the stairs to the top of the bell tower. Anthony was bare, armed with an AK-47, some white phosphor grenades and a Bowie knife.
Stand back! I'll kill you all if I don't!
He yelled. Sailor Moon stood in front of everyone else said, You evil man, trying to submit to the very nation government you claim to be saving. I am a pretty soldier, Eternal Sailor Moon, champion of love and justice. In place for Moon, you're punished. Okay, he got the first part right this time, but the last part he got it even more wrong. You're not in Tokyo anymore, you Jap bitch! Anthony said and flung his Bowie knife right at Usagi. Daria tugged on a rope, causing a bell to ring and strike the knife out of harm's way. Daria now stared at him. Why are you waging this war for? She asked. Why are you waging this war for? What? Anthony replied. To bring back constitutional government. Daria responded. Why do you want to establish dictatorship by the complete antithesis of everything the founding fathers fought for in the Constitution? About 60 years, another group exists about blaming nation's problems on minority groups and a so-called decadent government. They eventually got into power and killed many who opposed them. They're called the Nazis. Groups like yours saying the letter of the Constitution must be obeyed, but you violate spirits. It's by trying to deny rights to minorities and others who disagree with you. Oh, I knew this speech was coming. It was repeated in the sequel. Besides, if you take over this country, why does it stop the same groups you persecute and form their own terrorist organizations like the Black Panthers and the FALN? The Black Panthers? What? Oh, do they go around shouting Wakanda forever? Groups like yours beget with violence only brings on more violence. So this is the Americana dream. Is everyone else's nightmare and won't allow you to bring that to reality. Then you are a traitor, yelled Anthony. No, you're a traitor, Mr. Corlew. Daria replied. Andy screamed, Die, traitor! Lunged for a Bowie knife. Daria got there as well and a fierce struggle began. They were rolling around the floor, getting perilously close first to the opening for the ropes, then to the edge of the tower. Punches were exchanged, blood was spilled, Usagi Miura stood there helplessly. Daria knocked the knife out of Anthony's hand. Anthony then locked Daria in a chokehold and threw her up against the ledge. You can't stop us all, there's too many like us all over the country, Anthony bellowed. Now I'm going to snap your neck. Everyone knew they had to do something now. Trent saw a Bowie knife on the floor and picked it up. I won't let you murder the one I love, Trent yelled. Anthony turned around and see Trent throw the knife right to his heart. Anthony stood there for a second, then drew the knife out. I'll take me with you, you welfare cheating hippie, he managed to spurt out. He was ready to fling the knife back at Trent. However, Usagi ran up to him. Sailor Moon, kick! She yelled and kicked him real hard. Force the kick through Anthony cleared the ledge and out of the tower. Anthony yelled, Ah! As he plunged 100 feet to the ground. Mori made great splats upon impact was run over by a Humvee troop transport. An M1 on a 4 Abrams tank, the National Guard using Fleet Mac Tusk. No kill like overkill, I suppose. And also, I doubt the National Guard be allowed to sing this song. Just saw the whole thing and then said, Trent, this is bumming me out, man. Trent replied, I know, man, but it had to be done. Jesse added, my Uncle Phil went the same way. What? Some guy threw him out of a tower and then he got run over by multiple cars? Now I can now see that the National Guard had arrived. It's the National Guard. You will surrender immediately. You are completely surrounded. Voice sounded a bullhorn. Daria went to Trent and said, Thanks for saving my life. I never let anyone hurt you, Daria. Trent says he embraced her. They French kissed. Why typically French kissing? Why not just kiss? Some National Guard soldiers are climbing up the tower. One asked, Is everyone alright? Yes, everything's fine now, Jane said. She had a satisfied smile on her face, saw her brother and Daria continue to kiss. She wasn't going to forget this moment anytime soon. It was just a nondescript log cabin based in Montana, but it just served the headquarters of the Montana Militia. How many militias are there? Okay. Here, Bill Giroux, G-I-R-O-U-X, Giroux lived and waged ongoing war against big government and the so-called welfare cheating minority lackeys that gave their backing to it. Bill was oiling his AK-47 when someone knocked on his door. Bill coolly loaded the rifle, approached the peephole. He took a peek, he breathed a sigh or relief and opened the door. Apparently it was a friend. Even the author isn't sure. Greetings, Bill said. What's up? I've got bad news for you, Bill, said the man whose name was Fred. Your Uncle Anthony was killed. What the? Bill roared. What the? Fred continued. He finally put his attempt to take over Lawndale with someone named Daria Morvingova and her friends, Sailor Moon and Sailor Mercury. He liberated the town. They chased your uncle up a church steeple where he put up a valiant fight. However, they killed him in the end. I will have my revenge, Bill roared in a sour voice. That beats Daria Morgendorf will pay for this with her life. Right. And the scene cut now. Now, at the White House, President Al Gore, yes, Al Gore, before he became a voice actor, and several other dignitaries were gathered at the Rose Garden for a special ceremony. The Morgendorfer family was all present for the occasion. Jake, Helen, and Quinn were informed why, but Daria insisted on wearing her usual outfit of brown t-shirt, green field jacket, black knee-high pleated brown skirt, and those black Doc Marten boots. She clasped the more formally dressed crowd back being gathered. President Clinton had resigned and went to a Trappist mosque at the end of a prepaid phone call with Tommy Servant, Monsignor Peter. Okay, so... Ladies and gentlemen, President Gore began. Evidently this guy was betting on Gore winning the next election when he wrote this in 1999. We are gathered here to bestow the highest award this nation can bestow. The Congressional Medal of Honor to Daria Morgendorf for her bravery and courage in fighting the Lawndale Militia several months ago. Miss Morgendorf has proved this generation does care what happens in this nation and that there is concern for the welfare and the future of this great country. I now ask Miss Morgendorf to please approach the podium. Daria stepped up and walked to a podium. President Gore and slipped the Medal of Honor around her neck. Congratulations, Miss Morgendorfer, the President said. Thank you, Mr. President, Daria replied. Now began to read the prepared speech. Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a paragraph break for some reason. Our nation now stands at the crossroads in its history. We face monumental crises that, if left to fester, will result in calamity. There are issues of racism, poverty, equal medical treatment and other issues that need to be addressed. I know a lot of people are frustrated over these issues. However, taking arms and rebelling against the government is not the answer. We already fought one deadly civil war over the power of the government over 130 years ago. If we have another one, it would lead to the destruction of its nation. These right-wing militias must be stopped at all costs. These militias are a real threat, not the politicians, whatever ideological stripe here in Washington. I can only hope my plea does not fall on deaf ears. Thank you for your attention. Well, that was probably as good as this fix going to get. There was some polite applause as Daria left the podium. Daria did not know that her recent victory over the Lawndale Militia would come back to haunt her. Ryokuto Academy, like everywhere else in Tokyo, have been severely damaged in a recent attack from the Neo Zero. Even Greenwood Dorm, home to schools, weirdos, it's spelled with an E, second E, and outcasts, was heavily damaged. Shinobu Tezuka, the student council president, had organised a repair detail. Everyone was working hard to get Greenwood back to a livable condition. Kazuya Hasakawa, the dorm president, was putting some spackle over some bullet holes and his dorm went no entered. Hasakawa, how are the repairs going? Shinobu asked. This way it'll take me forever to spackle every last bullet hole I've been finding. Kaz complained. Why back crazy bitch decided to shoot up Tokyo is way beyond me. Did they not release details of Benira's plans after their defeat? Suddenly a head popped from the floor, causing Kazi to jump and lose his grip on the trowel he was using. The trowel fell to the floor and Kazi yelled, "Will you stop doing that?" Kazi squeaked. None other than Misako, a ghost of a junior high school girl, had been haunting Greenwood Dorm for some time now. Misako giggled. Boy, do I love doing that, you Ska. Misako got the nerve to say. Shun Kisaragi, Kazu's roommate, now entered. Shun was wearing a new outfit he picked out, a lavender blouse and denim shorts. Blouse is a girl's clothes. Scar, Shun began saying in his girlish voice. How will we ever get our dorm fixed up if you just lollygag around like you do? Kazu was ready to pick up a trowel and throw it at Shun when Misako suddenly waved her hands around. So it seemed like a cyclone or a hurricane had hit the room. In seconds, the room looked immaculate, with no more bullet holes and every trace of damage repaired. Somehow. Kazu shot a hostile glance at Misako and stated, if I want your help, Misako, I'll ask for it. Boy, what an ingrate, Misako said, then began to sniffle. Oh no, Kazu began to say, me and my big mouth. And as he calmed her down, Misako's bit would cause more damage to the building. Misako, wait, Kazu began. I didn't mean it bad way, I wanted to say thanks. Really? Misako thought that Kazu was being sincere and began to calm down. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Come on, Misako, Shinobu told her. You know, fix up the hallway. She went with him out of the room. Kazu and Shun just stared at each other. Finally, Kazu rolled his eyes while Shun giggled. Gunsmith Katz is a typical gun shop in Chicago. Riders Raleigh, Vincent and Minnie Mae Hopkins made a good living at it, but admittedly their sideline of being bounty hunters didn't hurt either. Yeah, in the world of Gunsmith Katz, bounty hunting is still legal in the state of Illinois. Don't question it. Raleigh had said that the shop to her old partner Bean Bandit. Shouting me about the author trying to convince us that Raleigh Vincent is the same character as Irene Vincent, despite Irene being vaguely black looking while Raleigh is white. Right, the fled to Mexico after a Grimwood kidnapping incident. Raleigh was polishing up her CZ-75 9mm semi-automatic when the thought of Bean crossed her mind. May, as Minnie May likes to be called, approached Raleigh. What's on your mind, Raleigh? May finally said. Raleigh gave a sign and said, oh, I was just thinking about Bean. God, I haven't seen him in years. Can't blame if he never set foot here again. And Inspector Beth said he was going to nail his ass to a wall for what happened during the Grimwood incident. Well, maybe he'll come back someday, May said. What he told me about him, he's one cute hunk. Bean and I did have a thing with each other, didn't we? Raleigh confessed. It's all old news to me now, I'm afraid. Hey, there's been a car pulled up. Raleigh took a double take when she saw what it was. No, it couldn't be, she began to say when the car door opened. A tall, muscular guy and a woman stepped out of the car. No doubt about it now, it was definitely Buff the Roadbuster and the guy behind the wheel, Bean Bandit. But who was the woman with him? The real Raleigh Vincent from his Oh, maybe? Bean and the woman now stepped inside. Bean Bandit, I can't believe it's you, Raleigh finally had the courage to say. In the flesh, Raleigh, Bean answered. You better hightail it out of here before Inspector Percy finds you here, Raleigh said. Relax, Bean said, it's all fixed. George Grimwood talked to Percy a while back. He's agreed to drop all the charges if I accept a plea bargain for some minor traffic violations and pay some fines. Okay, I've lost my place now. Anyway, you remember George's daughter Chelsea, don't you? Raleigh was surprised to find out that she was now a grown woman. Why would he see the spy? I haven't even been here for my life, Chelsea said. I'm going to Harvard Business School now. Daddy helped clear Bean's name and got him back in the courier business. I'm even his new partner now. Isn't that great? Raleigh had to be amused about the moment, but she didn't show it. Becky Farrer, the shop's accountant, now stepped in. Say, Bean, Chelsea, I want you to meet a couple of people. Blonde is my partner in business, Minnie Mae Hopkins. Bruno is my accountant, Becky Farrer. Becky, this is Bean Bandit, my old partner, and the woman who's with me is Chelsea Grimwood. We arrested him Semmeling back in 1989. Everyone's saying hellos and nice to meet you. Anyway, there's another reason why I'm here, Bean now said. I'm hearing rumors that someone's been funneling Chinese weapons here for delivery to someplace out in the southwest. Yes, rumor has it there's going to be a deal going down at the waterfront. You ladies care to join me and find out what's going on? It'll be like old times, won't it? Raleigh said. Except now you've got black hair, Bean points out. And you're black. And you're a lot more confident. And your name is Irene. Raleigh got a good laugh, loaded up her gun, said to May and Becky, let's roll out. May got to a footlocker she kept beneath the counter and loaded up on hand grenade. She felt she was going to need them big time. Okay, now I'll take a little break to go to the toilet before we get to chapter 1, End Zone Huddle. Okay, I've been doing some research. Turns out this thing is a much more reasonable 8 chapters compared to the previous fix being 16 chapters. At least we always learn the value of economy in his work. At least I hope so. Chapter 1, End Zone Huddle. At a warehouse on the shoreline of Lake Michigan, something sinister was about to go down. Several gentlemen wearing dark blue business suite and dark sunglasses were conducting business with some other gentlemen in combat fatigue. One of the gentlemen, Asian type, was talking to one of the fatigue-wearing thugs. I can assure you that my employer only shoots the best weapons from the Beijing administration. Further, she is one of the most feared Yakuza bosses in Japan, so she gets what she wants. He paused to grab a black briefcase and opened up viewed. Now this little number is the People's Republic's equipment to Russia's Saga missile system. He held bazooka up to show potential buyers. He continued, the speed he can blow up any federal government law enforcement vehicle. He involves mini tanks for use for riot control. You mean armoured cars? How much is your employer asking for? Said the lead fatigue-wearing group. Agent F answered. The boss is asking for $1.2 billion. He says question mark instead of any currency symbol. For the whole shipment. Payable in our currency, of course. 1.2. Okay, I think he's trying to say meant to be a yen sign, but in general, Japanese put the yen sign at the end of the figure, not before. Sad to say, even if the economic trouble's back in Japan, our yen is still better than your greenbacks. That's about 12 million, leader of a fatigue-wearing group shot back. And I'm going to check that. Bear with me as I consult the currency converter. Okay, about continue. Leader fatigue-wearing group shot back. It'll take some time to raise that kind of money. Not to worry, Aiden replied. My boss is a very patient woman. She'll take a down payment now and you can pay the rest back in 10 monthly installments. You'll stop by and collect on the 1st of each month. Where is your base of operations again? We operate out of the Lawndale Gun Club, the fatigue-wearing group leader said. Why haven't they closed that down? I thought that was destroyed, Aiden asked. Well, we rebuilt it, the fatigue-wearing group leader said. Okay, it's about to load and need to change the currency to Japanese yen and set it for 120, 12,000, 20,000, 12 million. 200, 12,000, 1,200,000, 12 million. 120 million. Okay, yeah, I'm checking that to be right. 12 million. No, I knock off 2 zeros. Okay. Yep, alright, 12. In today's currency, $12 million as in yen is what? 1,671,957,700 yen. Okay, so I'm guessing that was accounted for. So it's definitely not a divisible number. Usually divisible number. Back for point of comparison. $1 is equal to 139 yen. As though this dude is way off. So then everyone could hear 2 engines revving up. It was getting closer and closer. When it was real close, everyone knew it was about to crash through the doors. Everyone ducked beneath crates and barrels. The 2 cars came crashing through. One was a 1971 Chevrolet Corvette. It's Bumblebee. The other was a Shelby Cobra GT. Several people now bolted out of the cars. There are none other than Bean Bandit, Elsie Grimwood, Raleigh Vincent, Minnie Mae Hopkins, and Becky Farrer, known collectively as the Gunsniff Cats. Okay, don't think in it. Okay, you know you're in here, so give yourself up. Raleigh began to say as she whipped out her bounty hunter's license. We're duly licensed bounty hunters, bro. You're placing all of you under citizen's arrest. We've already alerted the Chicago Police Department, the FBI, and the ATF. They're going to be here shortly. So drop your weapons, come out, and put your hands up. Well, one thing I will say this time around is that the author actually chose suitable franchises to face off against terrorists. All Valley got their job was a barrage of gunfire into her. She ducked out of the way. May, let him have it, Valley barked. May calmly got up, grabbed a few hand grenades from her jacket and threw them at the nearby crate where the gunfire came from. Suddenly, several people scrambled out of the way as the grenades went off, sending them to the floor. The others promptly dropped their guns and gave up. Cowards. With Valley Mirrors had their guns trained on them. May stood by with some more grenades just in case. Bean now got to one of the crates and opened it. Inside was some AK-47s, some more saggers and various other weapons. Then several CPD, FBI and ATF vehicles pulled up. Special Agent Bill Collins, who is now the agent in charge of the ATF's Chicago field office, stepped in. Just in time, Collins, Raleigh said. Okay, I need to check what voice I need to do for this guy. Okay. Just give me a minute, William. Okay, he's not on this character list, so I'm just gonna make up the voice.
You'd think I'd miss out on all the fun here, pussycat?
Was Colin's reply. Alright, it's probably someone. Alright, Collins. Coleman back. So, the Coleman, William Bill Coleman, which is that one. He goes out to Asuka.
You'd think I'd miss out on the fun here, pussycat?
Was Collins' reply. Riley snarked that. He hated it when Collins called her pussycat. Why don't you stop calling me that, for Christ's sakes? Riley shot back. Pussycat, Bean asked her. It's a long story, was Riley's reply. Anyway, Collins continued. This is the break we've been looking for. We've been investigating these cooks for months. And tell us what you know, Bean asked. Who's he? Collins asked. That's Bean banned now, it's his partner in his old courier business, Riley replied. Hey, Collins asked. Weren't you and Riley mixed up in Miss Grimwood affair? May I point out, began to say, that Miss Grimwood is now working for me. Okay, Collins back. You don't have to get some testy. Anyway, from what we know, some Yakuza from Japan have been smuggling weapons from Red China over here to equip one of those right-wing militia groups. We know where they're going, we can send some of our guys there, in disguise of course, and bust this wide open. And when are we figuring on all this? Riley asked. You have to be cast. Well, we could use some extra firepower. 100% British and 100% delicious. Collins asked. Well, you can't threaten us with anything if we choose not to cooperate, Riley said. True, Collins said, but you owe me one for when I saved from that bitch Radinov. All I ask that you don't tell the press about this, it will come by its mission. No, former KGB assassin Natasha Radinov figured prominently in the Gunsmith Cats anime. Collins saved Riley's life when he gunned Radinov down as she bolted out of an ambulance. No, from what I heard, Collins got in a lucky shot, but it was ultimately Riley who killed Radinov. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't verify that, but I'm told that's what happened by a reliable source. Oh, Collins said, okay. Collins saved Riley's life when he gunned Radinov down as he got out of damage, wielding an axe like a mad festival rally. Comrade Peter. Is that all? Riley demanded. Plain and simple, Collins said. And you'll have my eternal gratitude. Okay, Riley sighed. We'll join you on this. Knew I could count on you, pussycat, Collins said in reply. Then all the agents take the suspect into custody, while Riley gritted her teeth being called pussycat again. Meanwhile, Gentleman said, Riley, you didn't. No, I did not, Riley shot back jokingly. You're the only one I've ever slept with, Mace back. So you and Bean were in love. Put a sock in it, May, roared Riley. Morgendorf residence at 1111 Glen Oaks is well appointed to a brick facade. I think that's meant to be, since this has apparently worse coding than Toku Nation. And a big upstairs window. Daria, along with her friend Jane Lane, were just returning from school when Daria stopped to take the mail in. Looks like a bunch of bills again, Daria said as she thumbed through mail. Well, it keeps the mailman employed, Jane shot back. Suddenly, Daria stopped at one letter. It was addressed to her. Writing on the letter was rather crude. What the hell is this, I wonder? Daria said. She and Jane now stepped inside. Daria put the other letter on the living room table and shot down on the couch. Jane sat next to her. Daria opened the letter. Suddenly there was a loud bang that knocked Daria off the couch, sending her eyeglasses flying off and landing in a corner. Jane ran up to her. What was in that envelope? I hope they didn't notice it. It could have made the explosion, like perhaps. Daria, you alright? Jane yelled. Daria slowly got up. Other than being a bit singed around her face, she was okay. She went to where her glasses fell and picked them up. Luckily, they were not the worse for wear. Jane then picked up what was left of the letter. There's a note here, it said. What did it say? Daria wanted to know. Jane began to read the letter, written in the same crude handwriting as the envelope. It ran thus. Next time we'll use real explosives and blow you up to bits. Up to bits. You welfare cheating nigger lover. We know you and your stupid nip. Sailor Senshi friends stopped us last time, but we can't be destroyed. When we take over the country, you will get rid of welfare, affirmative action, and other civil rights laws that benefit niggers and spics. Then execute all the niggers, spics, chinks, nips, dagos, liberals in New York City and Long Island, faggots, cripples, retards. Retards? Really? That's not a case of the American soft tea. That literally is spelled R-E-T-A-R-D. And other deviants and rule the nation in the name of a white race. You're as good as dead, you bitch. Lawndale Militia, all the way! I knew it somehow was just going to come back to haunt me, said Miss Lawrence. I'm now a marked person. We got to let the police know about this, Jane said. Hey, remember, our Keystone cops here couldn't stop him the first time around, Daria shot back. What do we do then? Jane said. I see if Mom can file a big suit against him in court. Oh, and Daria's like, these bed ties have been caught for at least the next 10 years. They can't do any more damage to me or anyone else that matter. Just as Daria finished that sentence, Helen, her mother came in. Hello, Helen said in a silvery voice. Then took a good look at the face rolled his door and said, oh my god, Daria, what happened? Jane took the letter and showed it to Helen. She scanned it for a few seconds. It was attached to what looked like a concussion charge, Helen, Jane said. I know that because I'm an explosive expert. So refer to a postal inspection service right away, Helen said as he ran to get the cellular phone. Again, cell phone is more accepted. Don't bother, Mom, Daria said. They can't do any good. Besides, there's no return address on the envelope. Well, we probably can do something about this, young lady. Helen snapped back with firm resolve as she dialed the number of the local postal inspection service office. You mean the post office? Looks like Helen's going to help you whether you like it or not, Jane said. Darius closed her eyes and put her hand to her forehead. Back at Ryokuto Academy, life is beginning to return to normal. What paths for normal there? The entire student body turned up for a special ceremony marking the start of classes since the Neo Zero attack. The principal was standing at the podium while sitting on seats behind him with the department heads, the student government, the dorm president, various other dignitaries. The principal began to speak. I must congratulate all you fine young men, and one female girl. For that mind, I looked up, Misako is so minor a character in the actual Heroes Greenroom that he's not even on the character page on TV Tropes. Oh, for a commendable effort you made in repairing our fine school. I must say that I'm impressed that the repairs were made way ahead of schedule. I'm even further impressed that the Education Ministry gave us the certification to resume classes way ahead of schedule as well. I must congratulate all of you. For this was truly a team effort. And now I ask the President of our student government, Shinobu Tezuka, to deliver a few marks. But did not need to be a separate paragraph. Okay. I'm picking what voice I should do for him. He's the same VA as Momotaros. Aros and Deno. Oh, Principal used proponent Shinobu, who looks stunning in his dark lavender hair. The last one was boobs, this time it's hair. You can speak. Thank you, Mr. Principal. For all my fellow students here at Ryokuto, I must say that your efforts be commended. In fact, they'll be rewarded. I made arrangements with the administration so that we'll all go to the Yorimuri Giants home opener at the Tokyo Dome this April. What I've heard, by making excellent progress in repairing that facility. The Tokyo Dome was severely damaged in Misery Senshi, Savahara Peter. What? There was stunned silence in the crowd. It took a few minutes for it to sink in. Then was a loud Banzai! From everyone. That was said 3 times running. Still continued. Well, I guess that cheered everyone up. Now let's get down to business. Perhaps the crowd began to disperse and go to class. Apparently his speech is so boring that the thought of it makes everyone want to go to class. Later that day, after class, Kazi returned to his room. Unusually for a fine institution like this, his homework load was light. Perhaps the administration didn't want to heap on too much on the students. Want to be on is unnecessary. The first day back, all Kazi wanted to do was his homework. To do his homework and go to bed. It was some day, Kazi threw his books on the bed, but someone said, "Hey, watch where you're throwing those books." Kazi turned around, seeing Misako sitting on his bed wearing a pink teddy. Kazi said in a half stutter. "Oh, didn't Sun tell you?" Misako said. "I'm going to be your new roommate." "Misako," Kazi began to roar. "This room only accommodates 2 people. There are no girls allowed here." "I'm a ghost, remember?" Misako shot back. "Besides, Sun was passing himself off as a girl for the longest time." "No, he wasn't." "Well, that's different," Kazi shot back, hating all the while having to be a devil doctor. "Sun's more like that Rama Saotome guy, except he doesn't need cold water." Okay, where's the thing explaining this? Yes. Temper, giggled Misako. Kazi was ready to blow it when Sun entered. "Oh, hi Scar," chimed in. Again, checking what voices to give Sun. And, for what is it? A female sounding voice. That sounds reasonable enough. Okay. Okay, back to the scene. "Oh, hi, Scar, sometime. I see you notice that Misako's going to be with us now." Sun was wearing another of his after the class outfit. This time it was a pink t-shirt with a stupid smiley face, a red miniskirt and red high heels. Quinn had worn a similar outfit when she tried to seduce Kevin in the Diary episode The Lab Brats, Piece of the Graduates. Okay, why did it make this particular reference now? Kazi turned around to face Sun and then snapped. "Sun, how could you do this to me?" "Hey, come on, Scar. Misako likes it here much better than in Yomi. In Shinto, Yomi is the equivalent of the underworld. No, it's just a profanity term for hell. I'm like the Greek Hades. Everyone, regardless of whether they were good or bad, goes there. I think the more modern term is Jigoku. It's presided over by Susan. I think that's what is Susanoo, but again, this thing has worse coding than T-E-N, Tokyo Nation. It was also the god of the wind and brother to Amaterasu Amikami, great heaven's shining deity who served the sun goddess. More details we would thanks to Misery Senshi, Reverend Peter. Oh, that's just racist, calling herself a reverend while describing Japanese religion. Well, sometimes I wish she'd stay there, Kazi yelled. Uh-oh, Senta now. You should have said that, Scar. Kazi now turned and see Misako beginning to sniffle. She broke out in tears again, the result to be catastrophic. "Misako," Kazi began. "Don't, I didn't mean it." Misako was about to cry now. Kazi ran up to her and put his hand over her mouth. "Please," Kazi said, "I'm sorry." Misako seemed to calm down when Kazi said that. Kazi and Sun began to breathe sighs of relief. "I've got to get out for a while," Kazi now said, grabbing his book. "Don't forget about the 10 o'clock curfew," Sun reminded Kazi. Yeah, Kazi's reply. Just wants to be out of here for a while. Kazi had been out on the streets for a while. He wasn't sure where he was until he passed the park on it. It said, Showa Emperor Memorial Public Housing Project. Now he remembered where he was. He was at the apartment building with his girlfriend, Mia Igarashi, had been calling home since he moved out to her mother's apartment after falling out to her old boyfriend Tenma Koizumi. Kazi now entered the building, took the elevator to the 10th floor and approached apartment 10H. Wow, Kazi rang the doorbell, it was answered by Mia. She was not wearing her seifuku. Yep, that returns. But instead was clad in a red t-shirt and beige slacks. Looked like she had just finished cooking dinner. Okay, and checking how if Mia is a major character miss. Oh, she is. Yes, Mia, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time, Kazi can say. No, not at all, Mia replied. Come in, please. I just finished cooking dinner. I was going to have some tempura. Tempura's fish stir-fried in wok. No it isn't. It's it's chicken that's been dipped in batter. Sure, said Kazuya resignedly. He entered the apartment. It was mostly decorated but cozy. Mia began to serve the tempura for Kazuya. You know, I owe a lot to your brother and sister-in-law for this apartment, Mia said. After I moved out, I didn't know where to turn. Hiro and Sumire have been so kind and considerate to me. Although Kazuya knew she had gotten this place, he didn't know until now that his brother had gotten this place for him. He didn't know that he had such a soft spot in his heart. Mia, I came over here to blow some steam, Kazuya began to say. Shun and Misako were getting on my nerves. Well, a lot of nerves are frayed during the recent attack, Mia replied. It can't be helped. Mia, why can't I just have a normal life? Kazuya shot back. I lost my parents, my brother married the first girl I fell in love with, I live in a dorm with the weirdest people around, now I also have a ghost living with me. Bet not even the guys on Seinfeld have this bizarre. Okay, how does he know what Seinfeld is? He lives in Japan. Hey Sky, you've got me, Mia said, then leaned over and kissed him. Thanks, Mia, Kazuya said, that made me feel a lot better. Then eat up, Mia said, maybe after dinner we can hit the books together. That made Kazuya feel a lot better. Picked up his chopsticks and dug right into a tempura. Kazuya managed to get back before the curfew. When into his dorm, Shun, Misako, Shinobu and Mitsu were on the floor doing their studying. Hey, how's it going? We missed you, Shinobu said in his usual cordial, deciding tone. Well, I need to blow some steam. Mitsu opened an unopened can of Kirin beer to Kazuya. Handed an open can of Kirin beer to Kazuya and said, you better brace yourself for this. Okay, the voice has to be doing to that is... You better brace yourself for this. Kazuya opened the can and drank. What? He wanted to know. It's like my dear sister Naga is up to no good again, Snow began. A friend of mine noticed her a lot at Yokohama recently. She owns a warehouse there. He thinks she may be trying to smuggle some illicit materials here. How about concern us, may I ask? Kazuya said, no hint of love in his voice. You know we had our tangles with her in the past, Shinobu continued. Fear if we don't do something to make her see the error of her ways soon, will come back to haunt us in some manner. Besides, Mitsu added, he also kidnapped a few of us, including Sun's brother Reina. Okay, what kind of a boy's name is Reina? Okay, point taken, Kazuya. Why can't we just let the national police handle this? Smuggling is way out of our league. Yes, Shinobu agreed, but if we get to her first, no one will get hurt. After all, in my own weird way, I do care for my sister. I don't try to disown her by saying that she's my cousin or something like that. Oh God, did he just have to do that? So, Sun Misago giggled while Kazuya rolled his eyes. At the high-rise office building to coordinate base operations, Nagisa Telesco receives some members of the House of Councillors, the large ceremonial upper house of a Japanese diet. Point out that Nagisa is not real, it's just a petty thug in canon. He definitely does not have this kind of cred. Gentlemen, Nagisa began, do come in, we do have some business to tend to. Council took their seats. Nagisa produced a black briefcase, opened it, and began to toss out some stacks of money to each member. There's plenty more where that came from, Nagisa added. All you have to do is vote against the new crime bill when it comes up to a vote. I've already seen to it that I have the votes necessary to prevent an override vote in the House of Representatives. If the House of Representatives rejects a bill, the House of Representatives, the Diet's lower council rejects a bill, House of Representatives, Diet's lower house, can override the rejection by a 2/3 vote. It's not similar to our Congress overriding a presidential veto over the House of Commons in the British Parliament repassing a bill year after the House of Lords votes against it. No, in the British Parliament it's the other way around. The House of Commons votes on bills and the House of Lords has the power to decide if it goes through. For more detail about the Japanese diet, can be thanks to Misery Senshi. Here I won't, or go to the diet's webpage at www.shugin, that's shugin.go.jp/guy. Congressman Peter. Very well, Miss Tezuka, one of the council replied. We'll do as you say. Very good, Nagisa replied cheerfully. You may go now. Countess left the room just as Agent L entered. Boss, I don't want to disturb you, Agent L began to say, but this is important. I was just finishing up, Nagisa replied. What is it? Well, Agent L began, we seem to have lost contact with our agents in Chicago. What? Nagisa replied, what I must do was obey God first, but I'm not really certain. Get a hold of some of our underground contacts there. Nagisa shot back. I want to know what happened. American law enforcement agencies are involved in this. Take whatever steps necessary to neutralize them. Understood, boss, Agent L replied. He left in a hurry. I haven't got this far, I just have everything blow up in my face, Nagisa growled to herself. I will see this thing through. And that's where I'm going to stop for today. Overall, fix slightly better than its predecessor, but it still has an annoying habit of stopping the plot to explain the author's inaccurate references. Yes. And there's also a whole mixing things up of making it clear he's barely watched source material, but hey, baby steps. Join us next time for Chapter 2, Aim High, Shoot Low.